Hey everyone, welcome back to Modern React JS tutorial series. This one is a sixth video in the Modern React tutorial series. So if you haven't watched the other videos, I highly recommend you go and watch this playlist. I'm going to share this link in the description. So in this video, we are going to talk about how to handle events in React. Now our components are going to have different elements. Like I can give you example of button element, and we know like button has click event. How we can handle such events from those elements we are going to see in this video. So before I move on and create a component in React which will have an event, let's see how we handle events in HTML. So I have the HTML file, or you can see the HTML section open here in the CodePen. I'm just going to add one button element inside this div. And if you know like how we can write or handle event in HTML, I write something like this on click, and let me give this button a label first. So I'm going to give it a label of click me. So this is the name, so this is the name of the event on click. I'm going to write equals to, and then we need to give it a handler name. So I'm going to give it handle click as a function name. Okay, so this is a function. This is a JavaScript function. So this is an event name, and this is JavaScript function name which I want to execute on click of this button. So this function I need to write inside my JavaScript. So I have my JavaScript here, and I'm going to write this function handle click, and for the time being I'm just going to generate an alert with you clicked me. Now if I run my program, so it's automatically running here on the right hand side. So this is beauty of CodePen. So I'm just going to click on this button. See that my program is working perfectly fine. So I'm going to click on OK. This is how we handle events in HTML and JavaScript. Now, you know, like JSX is very much similar to HTML. Syntactically, it's a combination of JavaScript and HTML, I would say. So handling events in React is similar to how we do traditionally in HTML, with some of the differences that I'm going to tell you. So let's remove this code for now, and now I'm going to create a React component. So I don't need this button. And I'm going to export my JavaScript section, and let's start writing a component. So I'm going to create a component called click me. So components are just function in React. So I'm writing a function, and we know all the components, you know, they accept something called props as an argument. I'm going to create an element here. So let me create an element. I'll have a similar button like how I have created in my HTML example with click me. And I can return this element from my component. Now let's render this component using React DOM.render method. And to do that, I'm going to instantiate my component first. So this is how we instantiate the component, just like how we create HTML elements, I can create my custom components, the React components, using the syntax. Now this is JSX, this is not HTML, but it looks like HTML. And I need to render this component inside. So I'm going to use the function get element by ID inside my root node. So we don't see any output here. That's because of this semicolon. Let me remove that. And we see the button. Now, to add events in React is very much similar to how we add events in HTML and JavaScript. So I'm going to use similar syntax how we have used in HTML with minor differences. So the event name that we have written in HTML was something like this, on click, where this C was small. In case of React, we use camel kissing. So this is the name of the event, on click, and equals to, we need to write a function. Now functions are JavaScript functions, right? And how we write JavaScript inside JSX? We use curly brackets. So on click of this button, I'm going to call a function. So I'm going to name that function handle click, and we don't need to write this round brackets. That means we are executing the function. We just need to call the function on the click action on this button. So this is the name of the function, handle click, and I'm going to define that function here inside my component only. So I'm going to write handle click, and for the time being, just have an alert. You clicked me. Now if I run my program, see that it's working fine. I think I did a mistake in clicked. Let me correct that. Now this function I have written here, we can write this function outside also. Maybe I can take this function from here and I'll put it here. I can click, it's working fine. So it depends where you want to write this function. It depends on the situation. If you have some variables which you want to refer inside this component, you can write this function here inside. Otherwise you can write it outside also. And this is one way of writing function. Even I can use this syntax where I can define function as variables, and I can use arrow functions too, something like this. I'm going to copy this alert here. So I don't need this function now. So I'm going to remove it. Let me format my code a bit. If I click, see that it's working fine. So this is how we handle an event in React. It's very much similar to how we write event handler syntax in HTML, with some minor differences, because this is not HTML, this is JSX, and in JSX, so this button is also a component in React. The React team has written this button component, and they have created this prop, on click prop, which handles the click event on the button. Now I can return this button directly from here. I don't need to create an element first and then return the button. I can write something like this. So let's refactor this code a bit. I can write something like this, and the better way is to use these round brackets. That will help us to format our code better on JSX. So this looks good. Let me test it once again. So click, you clicked me. This is how we handle events in React, and we are going to write some more events code when we are going to write projects using React. We are going to create projects using React. There we are going to see a lot of examples about how to write events. But this is the way. This is the way we write events in React. You just need to write the event name and then the handler function. So this is about events, and I'm going to come back with another video in the Modern React JS tutorial series. Till then, bye and thanks for watching.